Some cars don't just move fast, they announce their presence. You don't just see them, you hear them coming. Deep roars, violent crackles, and engine notes so powerful they shake the ground. These are not quiet machines. These are supercars that sound like thunder. Today, we're counting down the top 10 supercars with the most brutal, earth-shaking engine sounds ever built. Stay until the end because the number one car doesn't just roar, it detonates. Number 10. Lamborghini Gallardo. The Lamborghini Gallardo introduced an entire generation of car lovers to the unmistakable sound of an Italian V10. Powered by a 5.0 to 5.2-liter, naturally aspirated V10, the Gallardo produces up to 570 horsepower, delivering power in a smooth but aggressive way. It accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in around 4 seconds and reaches a top speed of approximately 325 km per hour, placing it firmly in supercar territory. But the Gallardo isn't remembered only for speed, it's remembered for how it sounds. As the revs climb, the engine releases a sharp, metallic scream that grows louder and more intense with every gear change. At high RPM, the sound becomes piercing, echoing through tunnels and city streets like rolling thunder. Unlike turbocharged engines, the Gallardo's naturally aspirated V10 delivers instant response, making every throttle input feel alive and emotional. Each downshift produces a raw mechanical bark that reminds you this car was built for drivers, not silence. The Gallardo helped define Lamborghini's modern identity. It proved that sound could be just as important as speed, and that a supercar's voice could leave a lasting impact long after it disappears from sight. Number 9. Aston Martin V12 Vantage. The Aston Martin V12 Vantage is where British elegance meets raw mechanical thunder. Under the hood sits a 6.0-liter naturally aspirated V12, producing around 510 horsepower and delivering power in a smooth yet aggressive surge. It accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in about 4.2 seconds, with a top speed of approximately 305 km per hour. But what truly defines the V12 Vantage is its sound. At idle, the engine produces a deep, controlled growl, refined but full of menace. Press the throttle, and that calm turns into a thunderous roar that fills the air with authority. Each gear change sends a shockwave through the exhaust, echoing with a rich, bass-heavy tone. Unlike high-revving Italian supercars, the V12 Vantage delivers its sound with weight and depth. The engine feels muscular, powerful, and deliberate, creating an experience that is both luxurious and brutally loud. The V12 Vantage proves that a supercar doesn't need to scream to be intimidating. Sometimes, true thunder comes from deep within. Number 8. Dodge Viper ACR. The Dodge Viper ACR is a supercar that never believed in restraint. Powered by a massive 8.4-liter naturally aspirated V10, the Viper ACR produces up to 645 horsepower, delivering brutal torque and raw acceleration. It launches from 0 to 100 km per hour in around 3.5 seconds, with a top speed of approximately 285 km per hour. But the Viper's identity is defined by its sound. At idle, the engine rumbles deeply, shaking the ground with a heavy, mechanical pulse. Press the throttle, and that rumble erupts into a violent, thunderous roar that feels more like a race car than a road car. There are no filters, no artificial enhancements, just raw combustion and unrestrained power. Each gear change hits hard, and every burst of acceleration sounds aggressive and intimidating. The Viper ACR was built for drivers who wanted intensity, not comfort. Loud, unapologetic, and brutally honest, it proves that sometimes the most unforgettable sound comes from pure mechanical chaos. Number 7. Ferrari 812 Superfast. The Ferrari 812 Superfast represents the peak of naturally aspirated V12 performance. At its heart lies a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12, producing an incredible 800 horsepower. This powerhouse launches the 812 from 0 to 100 km per hour in under 3 seconds, with a top speed exceeding 340 km per hour. But numbers alone don't explain why the 812 Superfast belongs on this list. What truly sets it apart is its sound. At low revs, the engine delivers a deep, controlled growl. As the revs climb, that growl transforms into a ferocious, high-pitched scream that fills the air and sends chills down your spine. Each throttle input feels explosive. Each upshift and downshift produces a sharp, emotional blast from the exhaust. The engine doesn't just make noise, it sings with intensity and precision. The Ferrari 812 Superfast proves that thunder doesn't always come from brute force alone. Sometimes it comes from perfection, revving freely all the way to the red line. Number 6. Mercedes-AMG GT Black Series. The Mercedes-AMG GT Black Series delivers a sound that feels like controlled, thunder unleashed. At its core is a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, producing an astonishing 730 horsepower. This allows the GT Black Series to accelerate from 0 to 100 km per hour in about 3.2 seconds, with a top speed of around 325 km per hour. But what truly defines this car is its presence. At idle, the V8 pulses with a deep, bass-heavy rumble that hints at the violence waiting beneath the surface. Press the throttle, and the sound explodes into a brutal mix of thunderous roars, aggressive crackles, and sharp exhaust pops. Downshifts sound like controlled detonations, echoing through the air as the car decelerates with authority. Unlike naturally aspirated engines, the turbos add a layer of pressure and intensity, making every acceleration feel forceful and dramatic. The AMG GT Black Series is not refined or polite. It is loud, aggressive, and built to dominate both track and road. This is modern muscle, engineered with precision and voiced like thunder. Number 5. Lexus LFA. The Lexus LFA is often hailed as one of the best-sounding production cars ever built, and it's easy to see why. At its heart lies a 4.8-liter naturally aspirated V10, producing 560 horsepower. This allows the LFA to sprint from 0 to 100 km per hour in about 3.7 seconds, with a top speed of around 325 km per hour. But the engine is more than just numbers, it's a living, breathing instrument. Developed with Yamaha's masterful sound engineers, the V10 revs at nearly 9,000 RPM, producing a razor-sharp scream that seems almost unreal. Each throttle input is met with an immediate, precise roar, and as the revs climb toward redline, the sound intensifies into a symphony of mechanical perfection. Unlike other supercars, the LFA doesn't rely on turbos or aggressive acoustics. Every note is naturally produced, pure, and unfiltered. Number 4. Pagani Huayra R. The Pagani Huayra R is a supercar built with one goal: unleash unfiltered performance and sound. At its heart is a 6.0-liter naturally aspirated V12, producing an astonishing 850 horsepower sent exclusively to the rear wheels. The Huayra R is a track-focused beast, accelerating from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 2.7 seconds, with a top speed that exceeds 370 km per hour on the track. But it's not just speed that defines the Huayra R, it's the sound. Every rev is a violent, race-bred scream. There's no muffling, no compromise, just pure mechanical fury. Each throttle input and downshift sends the exhaust into a symphony of metallic crackles, deep growls, and high-pitched wails that can make any car enthusiast stop in their tracks. The engine feels alive. You can hear every piston, every valve, every note resonating through the carbon fiber body. Its engineering and artistry combined a V12 that doesn't just move the car forward, it assaults the senses with sound. The Pagani Huayra R proves that extreme speed and extreme noise are inseparable, and that a supercar can be as much about emotion as engineering. Number 3. Porsche Carrera GT. The Porsche Carrera GT is a legend, not just for its performance, but for its raw, spine-tingling sound. At its core sits a 5.7-liter naturally aspirated V10, producing 612 horsepower. This powerhouse rockets the Carrera GT from 0 to 100 km per hour in about 3.9 seconds, with a top speed of approximately 330 km per hour. It was built with racing DNA in every component, designed to deliver track-level performance on the road. But what makes the Carrera GT unforgettable is its engine voice. Unlike turbocharged supercars, the V10 is unfiltered and naturally aspirated, producing a scream that climbs from a deep growl to a high-pitched, spine-tingling roar as the revs approach redline. Every throttle input, every gear change, and every downshift resonates like a mechanical symphony. The exhaust snaps and pops with precision, echoing off walls, tunnels, and open roads alike. It's loud, emotional, and alive, a sound that instantly grabs attention and refuses to let go. Number 2. Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. The Lamborghini Aventador SVJ is a symphony of power and noise, designed to dominate both the track and the streets. At its heart lies a 6.5-liter, naturally aspirated V12, producing a staggering 770 horsepower. This allows the SVJ to rocket from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 2.8 seconds, with a top speed exceeding 350 km per hour. Every component is engineered for extreme performance, from the aerodynamics to the lightweight carbon fiber monocoque, but it's the sound that truly sets it apart. At idle, the V12 rumbles with authority. Number 1. Pagani Zonda R. The Pagani Zonda R doesn't just make noise, it detonates. At its core lies a 6.0-liter naturally aspirated V12, producing 750 horsepower, built purely for track dominance. The Zonda R accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 2.7 seconds, with a top speed exceeding 350 km per hour. Every detail of its carbon fiber body, suspension, and aerodynamics is engineered for precision, speed, and control. But it's the sound that earns the Zonda R its legendary status. Each rev is a violent, high-pitched scream, a race-bred roar that shakes the senses. Every throttle input and gear shift triggers explosive crackles and pops, making it feel alive, almost like a predator announcing its presence. Unlike road cars bound by regulations, the Zonda R is a mechanical symphony. Every piston, valve, and exhaust note contributes to a performance experience that is as emotional as it is technical. It's not just fast, it's thunder incarnate on 4 wheels, demanding attention wherever it goes. The Pagani Zonda R is the ultimate proof that a supercar can combine engineering, emotion, and sound to create a machine that truly shakes the world. These cars don't rely on silence or technology to impress. They rely on sound, emotion, and raw mechanical power. If you enjoyed this countdown of the most thunderous supercars ever built, like the video and subscribe for more high-performance content. Which engine sound is your favorite? Let us know in the comments. We'll see you in the next one.